This Boston Celtics game that's been going on right now is getting super ugly. The Celtics are curb stomping the Warriors right now. They're up 97 to 63. I'm sure the score will probably get worse since the fourth quarter is about to begin, but just watching this game makes me just think about a few things. First of all, whoever is making the NBA schedule, they need to do a better job when it comes to picking games to be on prime time, especially for like holidays like today, being Martin Luther King Day, and just other days like Christmas, whatnot. I just feel the selection of games can be better, but they're relying on the hype of the past. And when I say hype of the past, I'm thinking about just like Stephen Curry, for example. They're just assuming that the Warriors are must see TV because of Steph, that this is a team that's worth watching and will generate great ratings. That may have been the case in the past when they were actually a title contender, but I feel today they're not some kind of ratings generator. Maybe I could be wrong, but I just don't see how many people would love to watch a game like this today where they're getting blown out by over 30 some points and it's just not entertaining. Even though Steph is playing, I'm enjoying this to some degree because I've always hated the Warriors, but it's clear like just the NBA needs to do a better job of just setting up good matchups for prime time. The game earlier today was much better. Grizzlies and Minnesota, you have two young rising stars in Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards. That's must-see TV, and they lived up to that. This game has just been a thrashing. That's what I would say. Just an epic ass whooping. But just going back to Stephen Curry, like just watch this game made me think about how much time he's wasting just when it comes to playing out his contract. Just he has like 2 more years left. His contract expires in the summer of 2027, but I'd say he's wasting time being on this team just because they're not going to be a title contender in the next 2 years. They're just not. I don't see it the way that they're constructed. And I've said so many times before, the only way they ever become a title contender again is through getting a player like Giannis or a Jokic or a Doncic. Just that's not going to happen. That's highly unlikely. They're going to be able to get a heist like that in a trade. I just don't see it happening. There's no trade that can turn them around. They are who they are for the next few years. They have a high chance of missing the playoffs. They could possibly sneak in, but they're mainly going to be a play-in team the next few years that could possibly sneak in as the eighth seed. That's like their ceiling. There's not much for this team to grow, and they really need to rebuild, honestly. They're at that point in time where it's time to rebuild. Steph obviously is going to be wasting time being there these next 2 years because they're going to be bad enough where they're not really a playoff team, but not bad enough to get a top lottery pick. If we're being honest, like for example, to miss the playoffs this year, they'll end up with a lottery pick that's not high, just a very low lottery pick, like probably somewhere between like 12 and 14, which is not going to make a difference. So I feel Steph is wasting his time. Like, granted, I get it, the money is really good, and I don't expect him to turn it down, but he should retire. However, he won't. So he's just going to be collecting checks these next 2 years. I just don't see what's in it for him other than the money, to be honest. And grants a lot of money, but other than that, he's just going to be a zombie out there. He's not even as good as he once was. Like you can see that in his numbers, they have declined. I would say he's no longer an MVP caliber player. He's a very good player. I could say he's still an all-star caliber player, but he's no longer an MVP like player. So it's kind of like he's like a zombie of his old self, and he'll be on the court just putting up his 20 to 25 points a game the next few years. And that's pretty much it. He's kind of going to be like a Kobe-like situation like it was with Kobe during his final years of the Lakers. Granted, Steph is more efficient than that Kobe was in that situation. But it's kind of like the same deal where, he's not a threat to do anything. He'll just be there as like their old legendary player, kind of like a mascot for them. But not someone you take seriously when it comes to competition, in the sense that he's no longer a threat when it comes to winning. He's just there, but he's not really there. But that's the way I look at it. He should retire, but he won't retire due to all that money that's available for him in the next 2 years. So it's going to be a waste of his time, I feel, being there. But hey, he signed that deal. Obviously, I don't feel bad for him. It's just we're going to see 2 more years of these types of games when the Warriors really get their ass kicked against the legit teams in this league. But that's all I had to say about this.